This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Films and Fermentation, episode 144, Movies by the Numbers. That's right. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. I really like hearing our theme song at the beginning now when we're recording. Gets me hyped up. So in case you missed it, as I said, this is the Movies by the Numbers episode. It's Pi Day. As of the recording of this episode, it is March 14th, 314, as in 3.14, or Pi. Pi. Not the good kind of pie, the math kind of pie. So welcome, mathletes and pie enthusiasts alike, to a podcast that's as irrational as the number pi itself. That's right, folks. Grab your calculators and your rolling pins, because today we're celebrating Pi Day in the most deliciously nerdy way possible. From the sweet slices of apple pie to the mind-bending mysteries of infinite decimals, this episode is going to have you craving both dessert and differential equations. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a mathematical feast as tasty as it is irrational. Let's dig in and hope we don't get too pie-eyed along the way. In other words, we're looking at movies named after numbers.
After an English teacher.
I want to call bullshit because you're an English guys and you guys don't do math.
I just want to point out that when you're quarantined for COVID, you get really fucking bored, and that's how your intro turns. That's what your intro turns into.
I see.
Usually it's like, one or two sentences I throw out there, but I was like, let me have some fun with this. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. We're on the Deluxe Edition Network. You can find out more about us and the other podcasts at the Den by going to deluxeeditionnetwork.com, including finding out more about our podcasts of the month on the Den, Bacon is My Podcast, and the Beard Laws Podcast. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
I love a good beer, but right now I could use a good cup of coffee.
Have you heard about Coffee Brothers?
Oh, yeah. They're that coffee company out of New York City, right?
Well, they're more like these coffee wizards of New York City. They source these amazing seasonal blends and single origin coffees. It's like a flavor adventure in every cup. And get this, they roast everything in small batches. None of that mass-produced stuff. It's like each bean gets the VIB treatment.
VIB?
Very important bean.
Sounds fancy. But is it worth it?
Definitely. Plus, they're a two-person team. I mean, that's dedication right there. Two brothers, one mission to caffeinate the world. And right now, you can save 10% on your order. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount?
All right. You've convinced me. Let's get some Coffee Brothers now.
Coffee Brothers, where every cup is a sip of perfection. Save 10% on your next order with the code FNF10. That's FNF10. Cheers to great coffee. These little bells and whistles this streamer thing has makes me feel so fucking professional.
Oh, boy.
So on to important things. What are we drinking tonight?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
I am drinking one of the six-pack that my wife brought back from Portland, Oregon, from Deschutes. This is called The Abyss. It's a barrel-aged imperial stout. This motherfucker is going to kick my ass at 11.75% alcohol by volume.
Holy shit!
Yeah, thank
Strong
God
beer.
tomorrow's Friday. It's a measurable depth and complexity. Hints of molasses, licorice, and alluring flavors make it something not just to quaff, but to contemplate. So,
I'm going to be quaffed tonight.
I'm going to be quaffing my ass off.
You have a backup after you finish that one?
I do. I will be.
It's called a nap.
Something a little sweeter. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't show you the picture of the Abyss.
Mm.
Finishing after that will be something a little sweeter from a local brewery, Trogs. It is the Grand Cacao.
Mm.
Trogs is out of Hershey, so I think they know good cacao.
Yeah.
And this is a chocolate stout brewed with cacao and milk sugar. It's 6.5% alcohol by volume. Peruvian cacao nibs. Peruvian.
All right. I did not have a lot of time to put something together tonight because I was running late getting home. And I wanted to try to.
It was off most of the week, so you could have prepared.
Yeah, I could have prepared. I was fucking home with COVID, dude. Like, I was sick. I'm lucky I'm actually drinking tonight. That being said, I didn't have a lot of time to throw something together. So I'm drinking a strawberry lemonade from Outback Steakhouse that I spiked with strawberry lemonade whiskey from Old Smoky Distillery. So it's strawberry lemonade right down the line, just a little bit of whiskey in there.
So I'm having
one beer, two beers,
3 beers, margarita,
whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
No, but all seriousness, I actually went themed tonight.
Good.
I went 7 and 7.
Nice.
Nicely
Yeah,
done.
I wanted to do 7 and 7. I didn't have any 7 Up. I didn't have any 7 Up ginger ale Sprite. I had nothing I could use. So.
I don't think I had any Seagram 7 in my house. I could have done the 007. What's that? Seagram 7, orange juice, and something else, right?
Something like that. Yeah, and I also thought of doing like one of the, like I have the apple pie moonshine in there because I'm like pie, you know.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I went with whatever I can do really quickly.
Yep.
Mike, anything special happened this week?
This week in film history. In 1940, The Road to Singapore, directed by Victor Schwarzenegger, starring Bob Hope and Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour. First of the 7 such movies premieres.
Yeah, that was like a big thing for Hope and Crosby, right? It was like Road to Singapore, Road to Egypt, road to Brooklyn, you know, whatever it was. But they had like a bunch of road movies.
So
was
was this Scherzinger's first?
This is the first of the 7. This is the first.
It's the first of the road movies for Hope and Crosby.
Okay.
Yeah. This is also a big spoof on Family Guy. He did a couple of road episodes there.
Yep.
They had one called The Road to Rhode Island, and then they had another one called Road to the Multiverse. They were doing the multiverse well before the MCU was.
Well, film-wise, anyway.
Film-wise. What do you got going on next?
In 1946, American film noir classic Gilda, starring Rita Hayworth and Glenn Ford, and directed by Charles Vider, premieres in New York City.
I love this movie. I don't know if anybody's seen this movie. It's pretty old.
Just the part that they show in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I mean, it's partially because of the Shawshank Redemption that I've seen this film.
Which is why that's why I put this in there, because of Shawshank.
Yeah, it's Shawshank introduced me to Rita Hayworth, and then I watched the film Gilda. It's your standard sort of like 1940s noir film. She is incredibly gorgeous. And to quote Red in Shawshank, I love that shit she does with her hair.
Now, when you watched it, did you dress all in denim?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was running away from the sisters the whole time. And
And he was sorry she wasn't in his pants right away, right then.
I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but I have that poster that Andy has in his prison cell in my room.
I do know this.
It's on the wall
I've
next to my
noticed
fridge.
as well. Is there a tunnel behind it?
Yeah, it goes from my room right into the kitchen since they're right next door to each other. It's that big open doorway between the kitchen and my room. What's your last one there, Mike?
The 1975 film adaptation of Neil Simon's comedy The Prisoner of Second Avenue, starring Jack Lemmon and Anne Bradcroft, premieres in New York City.
Neil Simon is, of course, the writer behind one of my favorite comedies of all time, Biloxi Blues. A lot of his comedies are very autobiographical, talking about things that happened to him growing up. You have a must-try beer or craft destination for this evening, Mike?
I have a must-try beer for you, boys. It is Cityscapes Mexican Lager from Ratio Beer Works, Denver, Colorado. The brewery suggests pairing this golden 4.8% alcohol by volume lager with a slice of lime, but that might be doing it a disservice. Brewed with just a hint of mellifluous hops and a good portion of flaked corn, the beer bears a gentle sweetness that accented by the touch of salinity. The mouthfeel is spot on for the style, even a bit on the heavy side, but the moderate carbonation keeps things light and refreshing. There you go.
I was waiting as soon as you got to the part where you were describing the mouthfeel. I was waiting to hear if the word chewy showed up again. That would be the third week in a row you gave us a chewy beer.
Chewy beers.
No
That
chewy.
takes us to one of our newest segments with a brand new lead-in. Hold your ears, folks.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. It's not. Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
That's right. It's Beer News is Good News with Kevin.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, I was headbanging to that, and I can't do that shit anymore. My brain is still swirling around like it was just placed in the.
And you don't have the hair
washing
for it.
machine. No, I got more hair than many of us here.
Yes, but it's not flopping all over the place,
like mine used to. What do you got? Is anything exciting to go along with that new intro?
Nope, nothing happened. No good news.
Nothing happened. We can play the exit beers. No, just kidding. So what I found is that there's a Vermont beer maker who has just won the National Brewery of the Year, according to Brewbound. Brewbound is a nationally recognized craft beer, industry trade publication, and the brewery is called Mad River Valley. I'm sorry. The brewery is called Lawson's Finest Liquids, and it's the Mad River Valley Beer Maker was named 2023 Craft Brewery of the Year by Brewbound. It was an unexpected surprise. They were quite happy, as one brewery tends to be when they're named, Brewery of the Year. They've seen remarkable growth in the past few years. Sales going up, increasing into the double digits. Their major achievements are reflective of the innovation, the community, the quality of their beer, and their mission, which is to expand the beers, expand the brewery. They are a renewable energy brewery using 100% solar power to power their brewery. And it seems as if they're a pretty good place to work. The company pays employees a livable wage plus benefits. That Lawson covers 90% of the medical and dental costs. That allows Lawson to eschew tips for employees. Yeah, and so the company puts any extra money customers leave toward local charities. Man, these guys sound good. Hey, guys, you want to go to Vermont?
Sure. I'd rather go there than Mississippi.
Snow.
Snow, snow. Snow.
Like any brewery, they struggled during COVID, but they weathered the storm and they weathered
So
it
did I.
well.
The struggle is real for Lee.
They say we have matured in our industry, so it's going through a cycle of right-sizing itself. So, anywho.
Anyway.
Brewery of the Year is Lawson's Finest Liquids in Waitsfield, Vermont. Go check him out.
All right. That was Beer News is Good News, brought to you by Newsly.me. Newsly.me is an audio super app for iOS and Android that reads the news to you in a natural human voice. Stop scrolling, start listening. Go to Newsly.me today and enter the promo code ANFERMENT to get your first month premium subscription for free. All right. Just got a couple little notes from last show. Our last show is about Oscar previews, and I wanted to talk about the accuracy of the picks. So we talked about the best picture, best director, and the 4 acting categories. We only looked at those 6 categories last week, and we looked at 2 different websites, Vanity Fair and the actual line betting site for Vegas. Only one of those was 100% accurate.
Vegas.
It was the Vegas one, yeah. Vanity Fair missed 1 pick. They had Lily Gladstone winning for Best Actress, and the award went to Emma Stone. But the line betting site was accurate on all 6 accounts. They had Oppenheimer for Best Picture, Nolan for Best Director for Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy for Best Actor for Oppenheimer, Downey Jr. for Best Supporting Actor for Oppenheimer, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers for Best Supporting Actress, and Best Actress Emma Stone for Poor Things. So that was the one I wasn't sure of, was the Best Actress one. I was kind of shocked when she won it. But again, it doesn't surprise me either, because the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this movie, aside from being weird and overly sexualized, it almost felt like pedophilia, because she's a child in a woman's body, having an hours long montage of sex. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Hollywood would definitely award something like that. I mean, she was good in the film, acting from an acting standpoint, but I was surprised that she won. No, that's the music for their Fermi Awards. I don't have any follow-ups to that. I Fermi Awards.
Were you guys disappointed with any of the choices? Any of the
winners?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
you had just mentioned, Emma Stone.
everything that won, I was not surprised by. I thought if anything would have been a surprise, it would have been Paul Giamatti winning Best Actor over Cillian Murphy for The Holdovers. But nothing really. What surprised me was the screenplay ones. I thought well, that was fucking nuts. John Cena's Naked Brigade.
You can't see me.
Yeah, you just see a lot of them that night. That threw me off. Holy shit. I was surprised
because Megan and I had just watched the first episode of Peacemaker again.
Yeah. And he's got that really rough sex scene in it. I was surprised by the writing ones. Like, I thought Barbie was going to get the screenplay and it went to American Fiction, which I still haven't watched, and I really would like to watch it. It looks like a really good movie. I don't remember who got the adapted one. I think it was Oppenheimer. They got the adapted one. I don't remember, but Oppenheimer swept, man. They hit most of the major awards.
Yeah.
And I was not shocked by it.
Christopher Nolan finally got his desserts.
He deserved it, and it was a good movie for him to win for.
Hey, I heard Godzilla finally got his desserts too.
Godzilla, after 70 years in cinema, finally got an Oscar.
Took him long enough.
It was for. Here's what's amazing about it. And this is kind of funny. It won for best visual effects.
Yes,
and by Hollywood standards, it's a low budget film.
Yeah,
it was only I think it was like 40 million or something American dollars to make that, which is nothing for a special effects heavy film.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes to show you that you can have a film with special effects in it that still has a story, and you don't have to spend billions of dollars to make it. You know, because all these other movies that it was up against Guardians of the Galaxy, which cost $30 billion to make, and
that's just the actors.
Yeah, it was just to pay the actors. But it's funny that what is technically considered a low budget film, won for best visual, graphics or whatever you want to call it.
I propose next year they just have Al Pacino give all the awards out, and it'll be done in 45 minutes.
They interviewed him afterwards, and they asked him if he botched it, because I told you, I said I think he was supposed to read the winners.
Yeah,
or read the nominees first.
Yeah,
and he came out looking like he was just ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I know, Mike, I know you missed it, but Al Pacino comes out at the end to give out the Best Picture award.
I saw it.
And he's like, my eyes see Oppenheimer. Ooh, that was the whole thing. So they asked him afterwards, and he said that
it's just business.
Yeah, they told him. They said they told him to skip reading the names.
Did they?
He said that the producer said, just go out and read the winner. We've already spent time tonight highlighting each film. You don't need to say the names again. Just read the winner. I don't know how much of that is true. Maybe he thought that's what they told him to do. Who knows?
It just seems deflated. You go through the whole thing, and then at the end, it's like, all right, Best Picture. Oppenheimer, come on up.
Oppenheimer. He didn't even say Best Picture. He just opened up the envelope and he went, my eyes see Oppenheimer. He didn't even say the winner. They hesitated for a minute. The band had to think about it. Do we play music? People in the crowd were looking at each other, and it's I guess we're the winner. After you had that whole debacle with Warren Beatty a couple of years ago, why do you roll out another octogenarian?
Well, next year they're going to have Christopher Walken do it.
Oh God!
Don't rush
me.
The winner, the Best Picture goes to
Dune.
2.
I think I was in that film. I forgot what I was going to say.
Let me just say, you're all winners in my heart.
Oh man, it was bizarre. I think the highlight of the night though was Ryan Gosling doing the "I'm Just Ken" song.
Oh yeah,
that was a really, really fun performance. And I like Margot Robbie cracking up in the aisle, watching him and all. That was the highlight of the night. And did you notice the other Kens were on there with him, dancing around? Simu Liu from Shang-Chi was on the stage with him. The guy that plays the new Doctor in Doctor Who was on the stage with him. Judy Gutwa. Yeah. They were all on stage dancing as well. All right. We're going to take a quick break and hear some promos from some of our podcast friends at the den while I try to catch my breath. COVID.
Breathing's so overrated.
We'll be right back with our main segment, the Pie Day episode, movies named after numbers. After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? I'm Matt, the host of the Beard Laws Podcast, a podcast that has nothing to do with beards. A podcast where we aim to entertain and interact with our live viewers, but our listeners, they're like the quiet person that never talks sitting around the bonfire because the rest of the group is so entertaining, hilarious, wild, and a little bit dumb. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let Beard Laws and the boys, Toby, Brandon, Logan, Zach, Richie, and our occasional special guest entertain you. We're live on the Beard Laws YouTube Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for whatever reason you want to see us and or our beards, check us out, thebeardlawspodcast.com. We're everywhere.
Hey man, what's your bacon?
You gotta tell everybody what that means first.
It's that extra side topping or main course in life that makes everything about your day even better.
Whether it's movies, music, cooking, paranormal, video games, whatever it is that helps you unwind maybe even get a little bit inspired. We talk to hot new bands,
We are Felicity.
Hey, this is Bradley from Emerosa.
TV personalities,
Hi, my name is Rachel Pizzolatto.
Hi, my name is Patty Magley.
wrestling personalities.
Hi, everybody. I am Eric Bischoff, WWE Hall of Fame, Godfather here.
Actors,
This is Sean Kanan. Thank you for joining us.
fellow podcasters,
Emo Social Club.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Schrader. Pretty much any like-minded creative across all facets of the entertainment industry.
You can check out Bacon is My Podcast on all streaming platforms, as well as the Strangerhood TV YouTube channel. New episodes dropping every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Listen in when we find the answer to the question,
What's your bacon?
Town Podcast is a podcast that features your town's dark, wild, and sometimes unbelievable past that will have you thinking there is no way that really happened here.
Matt, Meg, and Zach dust off the books and hit the streets and the occasional nursing home to unveil your town's past.
From small towns to where we live to big cities before they were what they are today, this is your town, your stories.
Alphabetical order, are we?
Gonna alphabetize the numbers.
Alphabetized or numerical order, I should say.
I was going to try to do numerical, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, my God, this is so many fucking movies to begin with. This is craziness. I originally had 7 at number 7, but then I had to move it up to number 8 because something else took its place. So
No.
we are
No.
we are back from our little short break there. And our main segment this evening is we're looking at movies that have numbers in the titles because this is Pi Day, so we're celebrating numbers. We are not looking at, now, I'm going to say this now, but then I'm looking at the list and I'm like, I'm already hypocrite here. I was going to say we are not looking at sequels. So part 2 would not be on the list because it's a part 2. But we do have a couple movies on here that are technically considered sequels, but the way they use the numbers is what we're looking at here. Some of these are just numbers for a title. Some of them are titles with a number in them. This is definitely not a complete list. We have 25 movies here, but there was 200 on that list I sent you guys. Like, yeah, like there are so many movies that have numbers in the title. Some are foreign films I never seen. Some are really old. So we tried to stick to ones that were kind of new and a little bit more well known. The first one I put on the list, I had to put on here just because it is Pi Day. There is actually a film called Pi that is the symbol for pi. It came out in 1998. It's first film from Darren Aronofsky, who's probably better known for some of his later films like The Wrestler, Mother with Jennifer Lawrence, and Requiem for a Dream, all of which are, depressing films you only have to watch one time. I have not seen Pi. I do know that it's about a guy that goes crazy trying to prove that there is a number sequence to everything in life. He's kind of like, the darker version of Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. He's trying to prove the theory of everything. And at some point in the movie, he goes crazy and drills himself in the head.
But isn't the answer to life and everything 42?
You already beat me to my special honoree for the evening. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But yeah, I haven't seen this movie, but I figured if we're going to talk about Pi Day and movies with numbers in it, a movie called Pi should probably be on the list.
Probably.
Talk about that first, yeah.
I'm looking at this to see who's in it. I don't know any of the actors in it except for Mark Margulies, who is probably best known for Breaking Bad. He was the guy in the wheelchair that only rang a bell and couldn't talk. Can't think of the character's name, but he was in the movie Pi. What's up, Kate? I have no idea where.
So I'm trying to look it up on IMDb. Do I type in pi? Do I type in 3.1415?
So you have to type in PI.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
Big P, little I.
Big P, little I.
Mm-hmm.
Paranoid mathematician searches for a key number that will unlock the universal patterns found in nature.
Oh, there it is.
Directed by Darren Aronofsky. Starring Sean Goulet and Mark Margulies. In New York's Chinatown, a reclusive math genius named Max believes everything can be understood in terms of numbers, and he looks for a pattern in the system as he suffers headaches. Plays Go with former teacher Saul Robinson, and fools around with an advanced computer system he's built in his apartment. Both the Wall Street Company and a Hasidic sect take an interest in his work, but he's distracted by blackout attacks, hallucinations, and paranoid delusions. And I believe it's the paranoid delusions that lead him to drill himself a hole in his own head.
I see in the trivia it says the main character suffers from cluster headaches, also known as suicide headaches, a rare condition widely regarded as the most painful condition anyone can suffer.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Cluster headaches, way worse than a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
The next one I have on my list, I've seen this one. The next one, number 2 on my list. Number 2 is 300.
Sparta!
This is going to be such a confusing night. This, yes, like Michael said, this is Sparta, number 3.
Men
Number
run
2
around
is 300.
papers.
I almost said number 300 is 2. Number 2 is 300. Zack Snyder film starring Gerard Butler, Lena Headey.
This was based off of the Alan Moore graphic novel, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It is a graphic novel. All the men in the graphic novel are completely nude. Would have made for a harder film to get on out in theaters.
Pun intended.
No pun intended. The men with the abs. All I remember about this film is like even guys who were like in really good shape would come out of the theater thinking poorly of themselves. So the movie is an exaggeration of a story. It's a good movie. I like it. It's entertaining. It's, the exaggeration of a story being told by a soldier who returns from the battle and kind of, blows up the details a little bit to get the men excited to go to battle and all that stuff. So,
hey, just remember that man was a friar one time.
Yeah, it was in what was it? The fucking Van Helsing. Yeah, it was the guy from Van Helsing. You have Gerard Butler, Lena Headey, David Wenham, Don McWest, Michael Fassbender. I think this might have been his first
might have been
film,
his first one, yeah,
or one of his like first like major films. Rodrigo Santoro as Xerxes. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked cast. It was a good movie, enjoyable. It was a really good movie to see in the theater.
Yeah,
good like visual film. So from 300, we go to a very similar film, number 3, 3 Men and a Baby.
This is Poopy Diapers.
So who wants to take this one?
Well, you got that 3 Men and a Baby and Amigos. So it's like 2 movies here.
Yes, I couldn't
This is
decide
a
which
double
one.
feature, Michael.
I couldn't decide who I wanted to put at number 3, so I put 2 there.
Ted
So
Danson did not suit up and start going into Mexico to film a movie.
3 Men and a Baby and Amigos.
Yeah. 3 Men and a Baby. What year was that? 1985.
3 Men and a Baby?
3 Men and a Baby?
Was it 1985?
No, I'm guessing, but I'm guessing really well.
I think you're probably close. 3 Men and a Baby, 87.
Ah, it was close. It starred the King of the 80s, which was the Goot.
The Goot.
The Goot. The TV King of the 80s, which was Tom Selleck, the Stash, the Goot, the Stash, and the hair, I guess, for
I guess the hair for Ted Danson, yeah.
For Ted Danson. And they end up going to their door to find a baby has been left on their door. These are 3 bachelors who love their life, right? Ted Danson's an actor. Tom Selleck is an architect, I want to say. And the Goot is a baby food manufacturer, I think. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It was very popular. It was, it was so popular it spawned a sequel.
Yes, 3 Men and a Little Lady.
But one thing that stands out in my mind about this movie is 2 things, actually. First, the ghost boy who was there when Ted Danson's mom was coming in to take care of the baby. The boy who is hidden behind them, which apparently was just a cardboard cutout of Ted Danson's character.
Yes.
And then the introduction of "Good night, sweetheart. When it's time to go."
I really think, because they show that in the trailer, I think that's what sold the film, because it was like a surprise hit that year. It was like in the top 5 or something for like a box office hits that year. and it was like kind of a surprise. And I think it's that song in the trailer kind of sold it.
Yeah.
And to clarify, Tom Selleck was an architect, Ted Danson was an actor, and Goot was an artist.
No, artist, baby food maker.
Because if you remember, like he paints like the mural of them and the baby in the apartment and stuff. Michael, can you tell me who directed this film?
No. I don't have it up. So
look at my hand.
Nimoy?
Nimoy directed this film.
Really?
This is a Leonard Nimoy joint. This is I think it was his second film because he had directed Star Trek before that. He had directed the Search for Spock. And then he did this one, and this one was a monster hit, and he never really did another really big hit again after that. This was the movie I think he thought was going to like launch him.
Mike, why don't you handle three amigos? Break it down.
Do the dance for us.
Well, they were infamous. These three guys.
They were infamous
Martin
or infamous?
No, they said they were infamous. That's even more than famous.
Yes.
So that's why they went down to Mexico.
Is that why they went down to Mexico?
Is that why they went down to Mexico? Because they were infamous?
Is it because they were movie stars and they were seen in Mexico and they thought that they were actual people who could help the Mexican people get rid of the bandidos? So they called them down and they went down under the impression they were making a movie and everybody else thought they were there.
The guy told them they were infamous, which is more than famous to them.
I just thought of something.
I say Steve Martin, Martin Short.
After you gave that description, Kev, I thought of something.
What's up?
Galaxy Quest ripped off Three Amigos.
Oh yeah, check that shit out.
It did.
We looked at the historical files.
Here go records. Yeah, never give up, never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender.
But yes, Three Amigos they were actors in the silent film era, and Mexican Village calls them down to help them fight off some bandits that have been terrorizing the town, banditos, because they thought that they were actually,
these guys. They are funny guys. only kill one of them.
But it's you think like it was a big deal to have the cast that you have there, with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase.
So I would really like to.
Except for nowadays, you get Steve Martin Short all the time. So
now it's Martin Short and Selena Gomez.
What I was going to say is it would be interesting to see Chevy Chase make an appearance on this season coming up of Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to talk to him anymore.
No, I don't think anybody wants to talk to him either. He's kind of an asshole. But
they may want him to play
kind of funny
body.
to get that in there.
They haven't played a body yet.
Body. He was the one.
I know Meryl Streep's coming back for this season.
Oh man, this season's packed.
Yeah, they announced a couple other people. I can't remember who they announced, but big time cast. Anyway. Number 4, 9 to 5. Number 4, 9 to 5. Oh, I'm hearing reverb on my end. You guys hear me? 9 to 5. Well, there's a lot. I noticed like there's music involved in a lot of
Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin,
Dolly Parton.
It's about 3 women who become infamous.
Infamous. As in, there's famous, and then they just step into it. Did we lose Lee again?
I'm here.
Oh no, he's here.
I'm here.
Just for like
no, we lost Mike.
I know Mike was trying to say something. What were you trying to say, Mike?
Well, we had lost you. I had lost you for a second. I don't know what's going on.
Here. I'm here.
I see you.
Dabney
Coleman.
Coleman is the boss that the 3 women in the office hate, and they all kind of talk about how they would kill him, and then he ends up getting himself hurt to the point where some people think that he might be dead, and they start, pointing fingers.
I have to say, I don't think I've seen this film since I was like a kid. I mean, this movie came out in 1980, so I was 3 when it came out.
Yeah,
So
it was.
probably watched it when I was like close to like 10, maybe.
My mother had it on from time to time, so I would catch it. You know.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that kind of like came on cable a lot when we first got cable in our house, and so I remember like watching it a lot there. But it's mostly the song. I think that more than anything, people would remember the song.
The song has a new life to it now because there's a version that Dolly does with Pitbull. Powerful Women.
When I think Dolly Parton, I think Pitbull.
Pitbull,
95 worldwide.
Pitbull, and Dolly Parton do Powerful Women, and she's singing 9 to 5 through most of the song.
925. Number
Fireball.
I got all these fucking mixed up now. Like this should be number 6, but it's number 5 on my list. The Sixth Sense. So I should point out, anybody listening out there, we did not rank these. I was just like numbering them as I was thinking about them.
I did suggest we put it in order numerically, but
I don't know how you do that with some of these.
You do like, 3 Men and a Baby first, then you do Pi next because that's 3.14. Then you would do.
You guys have access to the notes. Feel fucking free to do whatever you want.
Hey, not all of us can be homesick with COVID.
And some of us have been running up and down 12-foot ladders all fucking day.
You guys think I was on vacation or something when I was home with COVID. I didn't do these notes till yesterday.
We noticed.
Sixth Sense. We talked about this before. It's about a kid that sees dead people.
Yeah. We talked about this one. Yeah. There's red stuff all over the place. And
that's the
what are the other 5 senses?
I feel dead people.
I feel
I taste dead people.
I taste dead people. I touch dead people.
Smell dead people.
Ugh, I smell dead people. Number 6 is The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Which I just had it 5 minutes before the show.
Talk about getting the original version, not the Seven Samurais, but the original Magnificent Seven. Talk about a cast of every Western actor you can get, except for John Wayne.
Yul Brynner was in it.
Steve McQueen.
I'm trying to bring it up here. Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen,
Bronson,
Charles Bronson, Eli Wallach, Robert Vaughn, James Coburn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty stacked cast for 1960. And then even the remake, which I didn't think was great, had a pretty decent cast in it too. Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, like that was a pretty decent cast.
I didn't hate it.
No, but I mean, it's not as good as the original. Magnificent Seven is my dad's favorite movie. I put Seven Samurai in there because that is actually the original film.
Right.
Akira Kurosawa, Japanese film about 7 samurais. Same plot line, just takes place in feudal Japan as opposed to the Wild West. But as far as like American remakes go, the Magnificent Seven stands on its own as its own film too. Yul Brynner was in it, yeah.
And then he became a robot. And
etc. Yeah. Well, he was a king first.
And then he became a robot.
That later.
In Westworld,
we'll be talking about that part of his career later.
What's that?
The 10 Commandments.
Oh, yeah.
It's not at 10. Down there.
I put number 7. I put this one on number 7 because Kevin had asked about this film last week, and I said, "Yeah, I'll put it on the list, even though it sucks." It's called The Number 23. It's called The Number 23. I know Mike hasn't seen it because it stars Jim Carrey. But it is not a comedy.
It was one of his serious roles. Yeah,
one of his serious roles. It was meant to be a thriller. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, he comes across a book in a bookstore that kind of explains how the number 23 connects all things, right?
Yeah, he reads this book that shows that the number 23 appears in all these different things in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes so obsessed with it, he starts to believe that the book is about him.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up having like an alter ego that he spawns as because of this book or whatever, like a split personality. It's a movie that, so I always complain about how long movies are. This one wasn't long enough because there was like so much shit that needed to be explained. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was an hour and 38 minutes and felt like 8 hours, and still needed like 2 more hours of explanation.
He never gets rid of the dog catcher job.
Or the big car with the dog.
Right.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No, we're not.
So, number 8. So we're gonna skip it because that movie sucks. Number 8, 7.
7.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
7 was number 7 on the list, but then I added the Magnificent 7 in at 6, and 7 got pushed to 8.
So you
7. Another movie
we've talked about, not ad nauseum, but we've talked about it. It's a fantastic movie.
We've talked about Fincher a lot, so it's like, you know, it's something that comes up in conversation all the time. I was surprised when I typed it the way it appears in the movie poster that it didn't give me the red line under it for being spelled wrong.
Oh yeah.
SE to the number 7 EN. It comes up fine.
I hear George Costanza wants to name his child 7. Spell it that way.
Spell it that way. Somebody called it Seven. It's 7 and 7 and
7. It's 7 and 7.
Yes. Wish I had one of those right now.
Yeah.
I'm drinking one right now.
So I know
I
we'll jump into the next one, which is number 9, but did you know that there were 2 movies named called 9? Yeah.
Yes, I know. And I forgot to put them on the list.
Yeah.
One is
a
an
little
animated
popular.
Film.
Yeah. And
the animated film is the actual number 9 title, because it's named after the main character.
Right.
And then the other film is called 9, but it's spelled out NINA, and it's a musical.
That's a Daniel Day-Lewis movie that
Daniel Day-Lewis
musical.
Of. It is bad. It's
is it?
It's not a good movie.
Wait, Daniel Day-Lewis did something bad?
I mean, he's fine in it. He's Daniel Day-Lewis, but the movie itself is just not a great film.
Oh, okay.
It's just odd to see him because he's usually so meticulous about the movies that he chooses to do that he chose to do this one. And it's got a great cast. And it's got Penelope Cruz, it's got Kate Hudson. It's a pretty decent cast, but it's just not a great film.
This is the one where he turned around to his agent and said, "And this is the fucking reason why."
He goes, "This could have been my 8th Oscar." Yeah, I think right after that he did Gangs in New York. He was like, "I got to kill some motherfuckers to get over this one."
Yeah.
So number 9 is 2012.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole nother movie.
Yeah. Number 9 is actually 2012, which is a movie about the end of the world that never happened.
Yep.
Everyone was prepared for it, though.
That was
After
the thing.
Y2K, we were all getting ready for 2012.
We were all getting ready for 12-12-12.
That damn Aztec calendar.
It just happened to
what
run
really
out.
happened is they just ran out of room.
He ran out of room, or they got wiped out before they had a chance to finish the calendar. So 2012 sucked. It's another sucking movie. I've noticed with these movies with the numbers in the title, they're either really hit or really miss.
Yeah, that's
this is a really miss to me.
So was 2012, did that have a twin movie, which was The Day After Tomorrow? Was that the twin movie to 2012?
I think, honestly, I'm going to have to look it up. I think they were both directed by the same guy. I think they were both directed by Roland Emmerich, who he did Independence Day. Like, that's his thing, are these like big time disaster films. And I could swear he directed both of these, but I'm gonna look it up just to be sure.
Well, you look up one, I'll look up the other.
He directed The Day After Tomorrow, and he directed Independence Day in 2012. Yep.
Oh, okay.
He directed all these films. So Day After Tomorrow came out in 2004, and 2012 came out in 2009. So they're 5 years apart from each other.
Right, but there was a leap year, so it's really like they were together.
So it's really like they were the same year, even
That's
though
right,
neither one
exactly. There was a leap.
Even though
there was
2012
a leap year somewhere in there.
Even though 2012 was still 3 years off from the release of that film.
Mm-hmm.
Day After Tomorrow is not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not that bad. 2012 was just kind of like pushing it a little bit at that point.
Yeah.
It's the scene in which John Cusack outruns a 11.0 earthquake in a fucking station wagon. It does it for me.
Hey,
To
station wagons
me,
have
it's
Porsche
the
engines, so come on,
massive
what happened?
arcs that were built.
Oh,
You
the
know,
ships, yeah.
yeah, that were built in the
As if our
mountainside.
government would have the wherewithal to build all that when they needed to. It takes them 8 years to finish a fucking highway. Number 10 is 1492.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Ocean Blue. Now that's a twin film. Was the year that
Oh, New World?
1492 came out. Yeah, so it was 1492 Conquest of Paradise, which starred Gerard Depardieu as Christopher Columbus. And that came out the same year as another Columbus film, which I think was just called Columbus.
That also
Neither film
stars
was
Gerard
great.
Depardieu?
No. The other one was an American actor. I don't even remember who the hell was in it. There is another 1492 that came out in 2021, apparently. And a
Okay.
1492 revisited in 1992. Now we're really getting confusing.
Yeah.
So what was this movie about?
Some dude got on a boat and sailed to the wrong fucking place.
This damn Spaniard. Wait, he
I
wasn't
thought it
Spaniard.
was about the 12-year war. Oh.
Well, that was the War of 1812, wasn't it?
No, that's the last of the Mohicans.
I thought that was the French American. I don't even fucking know.
Not the Patriot?
Yeah. The Patriot was the Revolution. I just watched that the other day. It was on TV.
Why did you watch it?
I like the Patriot.
That's as bad as me watching the Superman.
You
Superman.
watched Demolition
movies.
Man the other day.
I did watch Demolition. I've been on a kick with bad movies, man.
Yeah.
I made up for it because after I finished watching The Patriot, I watched The Hunt for Red October, and that
okay. That'll do it.
I washed away the taste in my mouth. Number 11 is 1984.
I'm glad how we just kind of skipped over. 1492 is just about Columbus.
That's about
no one
Columbus.
really likes him much anymore. We're just going to move on.
Nobody cares about Gerard Depardieu anymore.
People don't know.
At one point, Gerard Depardieu was a sex symbol. Fucking fat French guy. 1984, number 11. 1984 is the George Orwell novel that came out in the 40s. This is the movie version based on it. This is what he imagined 1984 was going to look like.
Not too far off.
Yeah, I was going to say, little did he know it had to take till 2024 for it to happen.
Yeah, it was
1984 was 40 years in the making.
Yeah, much.
Yeah, you're not going to believe this, but 1984 was released in 1984.
What?
That was serendipitous.
No.
I think when I think of 1984, I really think of the Apple commercial. Yeah.
And how Big Brother's watching now. Yeah, so if anybody's unfamiliar with 1984, it's where we get the phrase "Big Brother is watching." It's about a dystopian future where the government keeps an eye on everybody and all your activities, kind of like now.
Yeah. Read the fucking classics, would you?
Just kind of like that time that Kevin and I were just having a random conversation about buying a bidet, and the next thing I know, I was getting ads for it on Facebook. Jesus. Number 12. Rolling along here. Number 12, we got Oceans 11, 12, 13, and 8.
Somebody don't know how to count.
So the first one was Ocean's 11 with Frank Sinatra in the 60s, and then there was the remake in the 2000s with Clooney and Pitt, which is, I think, the better of the Ocean's 11 films. Ocean's 12, which was a slight disappointment of a sequel, and then Ocean's 13, which is kind of like cut and paste of Ocean's 11. And then Ocean's 8 was the all-female cast that came out a few years back with Sandra Bullock and Kate Blanchett and Anne Hathaway.
Is Ocean's 8 what spawned the remake of Ghostbusters with an all-female cast?
No, I think Ocean's 8 came out after that. Ocean's 8 wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
I don't think I've seen it.
It was okay. I mean, I watched it because I like the Ocean's films and I like the actresses that were in it. But it just didn't feel like the same thing. I love Ocean's 11 though. I can watch that all the time.
Yeah.
Just a fun movie. Really fun movie. Number 13 is 50-50. This is a movie starring Seth Rogen and Joey Gordon-Levitt and Anna Kendrick. It's it's kind of like a dramedy, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama. Joey Gordon-Levitt is a young man who gets cancer. It's a 50-50 kind of cancer where he could live or he could die depending on the surgery and all that.
Right.
And it's like him trying to just deal with this, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick plays his therapist. Seth Rogen's his best friend in the film. It's one of Rogen's better parts. And just like dealing with this, he has his mother's played by Angelica Houston. She has a husband who has Alzheimer's, so she's like got the Alzheimer's husband and the son going through the cancer treatment, and it's a lot on her. It's a it can be a little sappy at times, but overall, it's not a bad film. It's pretty entertaining.
No, but for a moment there, I had a flash of his little sister being played by what's her name, Chloe. I can't think of it, and then I realized that's 500 Days of Summer, which
that was Chloe Grace Moretz plays little sister in it. Yeah, that's another movie you could have put in here. 500 Days of Summer with him and Zoe Deschanel. But instead of 500 Days of Summer, let's do 50 First Dates instead at number 14. Okay. I know Mike has seen this movie a million times because it's Adam Sandler.
So I'm not a huge Mike. I'm not a huge fan of Adam Sandler camp, but I really actually enjoy 50 First Dates. Awesome soundtrack, great concept of just somebody needing to be reminded every day that who they are because of short-term memory loss.
And there's certain times where it's played for laughs, but for the most part, it's kind of it's taken seriously.
Yep.
And it's one of his better roles. I like when he's in a movie with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
they play well off each other. So I liked him in this with her. I liked him in The Wedding Singer with her. I feel like Blended. It's more his relationships with her in the films are more believable than the times that he's married to like the hottest women in Hollywood.
Selma Hayek,
like Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, like in this one, like I'm nothing against Drew Barrymore. She's a beautiful woman, but I feel like it's more believable that he and her would be together for some reason.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining film. It's cute, and it's I like Sean Astin in the film is pretty funny. It's the brother who may or may not be taking steroids. From 50 First Dates starring Mike's favorite actor Adam Sandler, we go to 8mm starring Kevin's favorite actor Nick Cage.
I saw this one though. This was about the snuff film, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, this film is fucking batshit crazy. This is bad shit by Nick Cage standards. I watched this movie for the first time a few months ago. I'd never seen it. And I heard another podcast talking about it. And I'm like, you know what? I got to check this out. I got to complete my Nick Cage repertory. So I watched 8mm and man, it's a good movie, but it is fucking bad shit. And Joaquin Phoenix is in it. Very, very young Joaquin Phoenix role, but he's really good. He's kind of steals the film. And Nick Cage is being his good old Nick Cage self in this movie.
Good old Nick.
You see him at the Oscars?
I did. Well, he was presenting, wasn't he?
He was presenting. He presented for the best actor. They brought out all 5 actors to present to the 5 actors. His was Paul Giamatti, and he's like, people said Paul had to be kind of crazy for wearing that prosthetic eye for all those months. It had to be painful, and it's like, people say to me, "Would you do that?" And I say, "Hell yes." This is anybody out there. If you want to have a good old Nick Cage time, check out 8mm.
Make it a double feature. Do 8mm and then Snake Eyes, and really get the full Nick Cage. Embrace the cage.
If you want to embrace the cage, you got to do a day marathon. You got to go 8mm, Snake Eyes, Con Air, The Rock, National Treasure,
and then
Ghost Rider.
Finish it off with
Ghost Rider. Leaving Las Vegas.
No.
Honeymoon in
Don't put anything in there that actually was good.
So you don't want Raising Arizona on that list?
No, Raising Arizona stays out of that list. That was a decent movie.
That
Leaving
means
Las Vegas was a decent
National
movie.
Treasure has to be taken out of that.
Yeah, I like National Treasure. Kevin's not a big fan of it. I like National Treasure.
That's because Kevin has no taste.
No, I'm the one who has no taste. I had COVID this week.
Yeah, well, with the level of alcohol in his beer, he probably can't taste anything right now either.
I can't.
Yeah, you wanted to put this shit in numerical order. You're not going to even be able to tell the numbers eventually. So, keeping with the theme, number 16, 10 Things I Hate About You. Another movie we talked about pretty extensively recently because we did one of those This Year in Film History episodes, and we talked a lot about this. My wife's favorite movie, or one of her favorites. I like this movie. It's one I find
it's a good Shakespeare adaptation.
Good Shakespeare. Oh, we talked about this when we did the '90s teen films.
Mm-hmm.
That as far as like '90s, as far as like '90s teen films go, this was like a pretty tame one, but pretty entertaining. Introduced the world to the dreaminess that is Heath Ledger. Number 17, The Fifth Element. Number 17, The Fifth Element.
Good movie.
Multipass. She was 19 when she did this film.
Was she?
Yeah, I just read that recently. She started having an affair with the director during the filming.
It's that French guy, isn't it?
Luc Besson, and they ended up getting married afterwards. She was apparently only 19 at the time.
Jesus.
She's like somebody who I think is younger than I think she is.
Mm-hmm. Because she's been in so many films at such a young age.
She was in
Goldfish films.
She was in Chaplin, the film with Robert Downey Jr. She was only 16 when she did that film.
Mm-hmm.
So this came out in 1997. And Mila Jovovich was born in 75. So she's 2 years older than me. So she's 48. So yeah, that makes sense.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Saying there's just saying that she looks really good for 48, and I look like a bag of shit for 46. She's looking her age. Speaking of bags of shit, number 18,
it's another movie
43.
It's also another movie where.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hold on. I ain't finished with Fifth Element yet. It's also another one where the comedian of Gary Oldman shows up.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman's great in the Fifth Element. You know, it's one of those weird. He's really good. I don't know what that accent is he's doing in it, but it works. Do you know it's one of the few films where the bad guy and the good guy don't meet?
Yes.
Like Gary Oldman and Bruce Willis never share a scene together.
No, they never share a scene together. How about that?
He gets destroyed. He gets killed by the big, planet thing.
Parallax.
Yeah, Parallax. Before he even meets
Galactica.
Galactus,
rather.
Yeah, but Fifth Element is a really good movie. The most unbelievable part of Fifth Element is Tiny Lister as the president. Rest of the film, I can believe. I'm jealous of the Chinese food stand that comes right up to his window.
Yeah,
we do have DoorDash now, but. So as I was saying, speaking of bags of shit, number 18 is a movie that Kevin said we should go to the theater and see this. It looks pretty fun.
Yes, I did, because look at how many celebrities are in it. All of them can't be wrong.
I want to know what they had on all those celebrities that they did this fucking film.
I don't know, man, but
I'm bringing it up now. Movie 43 came out in 2013, and here you go. Here's the actors in this film. Ready? Oh, Oscar winner Emma Stone, Stephen Merchant, Richard Gere, Liev Schreiber, Dennis Quaid, Greg Kinnear, Common, Will Sasso, Seth MacFarlane, Kate Winslet, Hugh Jackman. That's just a few. That's not even the whole full cast.
No,
there's more.
Naomi Watts was in there.
Naomi Watts was in it.
Anna Faris, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. I'm trying to get, because there's like a whole list.
Richard Gere, Kate Bosworth.
I was just trying to get work at the time, so.
J.B. Smooth, Kieran
Mhm.
Culkin,
Justin Long, Jason Sudeikis.
That's right.
Uma
They were in it.
Thurman.
Uma Thurman was in it.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell, Katrina Bowden,
Mhm.
who was on 30 Rock. She was in it. I mean, it just keeps going.
Everybody.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Chloe Grace Moretz, Patrick Warburton. Gerard Butler was in it. Sean William Scott, Johnny Knoxville, Halle Berry.
Who directed the movie?
Terrence Howard was in this film. Like, this is the list of fucking actors that were in this goddamn movie.
So here's my thought process was the studio had all of these actors under contract for a certain number of films, and somebody there was related to somebody in the studio and was like, I want them all. And they're like, all right, this takes one of their movies off of their contract that they owe this studio.
It has to be.
That's the only way I can see them getting all of these names.
The movie was filmed over a span of 4 years because they couldn't get everybody together for all the different segments. So they filmed the segments like haphazardly and then put them all together later. Oh, Jesus Christ!
The whole movie was filmed haphazardly.
This movie, man, Jesus! I'm trying to figure out who the studio was that was behind it because I'm wondering
who directed it.
It was a bunch of different directors because it was all different segments.
Okay. It was like a skit show put into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it was like an anthology. So there's I know Elizabeth Banks directed one of the skits. And there were other people who were involved in it.
So what you're saying is it's America's attempt to do a Monty Python and they blew it.
Oh, not even close. I'm looking at the directors. James Gunn was one of the directors. Wow. Bob Odenkirk, James Gunn, Brett Ratner, Elizabeth Banks. These were all some of the directors on this film. Peter Farrelly, geez. I can't find a studio. It's bothering me.
I can't find the studio. I see the production company.
But we have talked a lot more about movie 43 than I expected to.
Yeah. 12 Little Indians.
This
Number
is
19.
Bad fucking movie. Yeah. Kevin, so one quick story. It was me, Kevin, and Katie went to see that in the theater, movie 43. Kevin was like, look at all the actors in this film. It should be funny. And I was like, I had not heard much about it. So I was like, yeah, let's go check it out. And then after we left, I was like, why did Hugh Jackman have balls on his chin?
He's a bald chinian.
There's a bald chinian. So yeah, number 19, 12 Little Indians. We go from a bag of shit to an Agatha Christie classic. I'm surprised with all the Agatha Christie movies that Kenneth Branagh has been adapting lately. He hadn't tried to do this one yet.
There's an adaptation of this one that I really like called Identity, which stars John Cusack. And it's got the same, general concept where 12 strangers, a group of strangers, get stranded somewhere and slowly they get picked off one by one. And you're trying to figure out who's doing it.
Wait a minute. It's 10 Little Indians. We have 12 Little Indians in this. 10 Little Indians. I didn't even notice that. It's 10 Little Indians. 10 Little Indians. But yeah, it's all these strangers get together and 10 people are invited to a mountaintop mansion only to find that an unseen person is killing them off one by one. Who could the killer be? And could it be one of them? And yeah, it's very that movie you're talking about is very similar to that.
Mm-hmm. But it's got a nice twist at the
really
end.
different twist at the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's one of my favorite John Cusack movies.
Mike, did you have anything to say? You added 12 Little Indians, right?
No, I didn't.
Who did that? You added that one?
Yep, I did. I can't count.
So it's 10, yeah. That's all right. I can't count either. That's why it's number 19. Number 20 is 1408.
Speaking of John Cusack.
Speaking of John Cusack, this is a weird movie.
Yes.
So this is it's a Stephen King, isn't it? 1408.
Mm-hmm. Stephen King. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it.
And so it's like
it's about
John
a hotel room.
Yeah, he's a paranormal investigator, or he's a journalist or something, and he's investigating a haunted hotel room that's room 1408. And hijinks ensue.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Jinx.
I like low jinx.
I saw a Sam Jackson meme the other day. It said, no offense to Morgan Freeman, but if somebody's going to narrate my life, I want it to be Sam Jackson because there's going to be a few motherfuckers in there.
I sent you guys a meme about how much he gets paid for his movies. And
yeah. It was like,
hey, what? Again, motherfucker.
He was like, he got paid like $10,000 for each fuck over his career or something.
Every motherfucker was like $1 million.
I don't know if he has any motherfuckers in 1408, does he?
I don't know.
It's a PG-13 film, so I'm guessing if there's any, it's probably one. Because I would think, because he plays the guy that's like the
caretaker,
right?
Yeah.
I would think he'd be like, you don't want to stay in that motherfucker room. Fucking shit be crazy in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Number 21, 42. That worked out because 42 is a double of 21.
Yes.
So
Jackie
42
Robinson story.
The Jackie Robinson film. This is the film that made Chadwick Boseman a star, which led to him getting Black Panther. Harrison Ford in a much different role. It's Harrison Ford.
It didn't hurt Harrison Ford's career either. I mean, he got noticed after this.
He got noticed after that. He got to do some Star Wars films, some Indiana Jones films. Good for him. Good for him. National Treasure Alan Tudyk in a very, very different role for him. He's the racist coach from Philadelphia. I mean, really racist coach.
What's the guy say about Philadelphians? Oh,
I'm not saying much about Alan Tudyk. I'm like, no, that's Alan Tudyk's a national treasure.
You keep saying that. I expect Nick Cage to pop up.
National treasure. I don't even know if Alan Tudyk is American. He might be Canadian, and I'm calling him a national treasure. So I don't know. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Another good film. Chadwick Boseman, really good performance from him. And all jokes aside, like for Harrison Ford, I would say it's a pretty different role for him.
Yeah.
It was like Harrison Ford, the actor, and not Harrison Ford, the movie star in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, thank God. Alan Tudyk was born in Texas, so he is American. So he is a national treasure.
Sure, it's not Mexican.
El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, it's getting close to Mexico there.
Yeah, he don't look Mexican to me. Number 2261. So from one baseball movie to another.
Yeah, they're always
this is the movie about Roger Maris breaking the home run record this season.
Maris and Mantle, trying to break
Maris and Mantle, yeah.
Trying to break.
Poor guy got a lot of death threats that year.
Oh yeah,
Roger Maris, yeah.
Because they wanted Mantle to break the record, not him.
Mm-hmm. And Mantle, I think Mantle ended up getting hurt that season too.
He did.
This reminds me of the Sosa.
I was going to say, and then it took the steroid addled bodies of Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire to beat the record in the 90s. That was an exciting race until the steroid thing came out.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about 61 is Maris never even saw that he got the record because they didn't give him the record until after he had passed.
Mm-hmm.
Years later. So.
Years later. And yeah, kind of like a bittersweet story.
Yeah,
a decent movie. I think 61 was directed by Billy Crystal.
I think it was.
I want to say
HBO based movie, or was that?
It was an HBO.
It was an HBO film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was directed Billy Crystal.
Directed by Billy Crystal, starring Barry Pepper as Roger Maris and Thomas Jane as Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I remember because this is like a story that Crystal tells in his one man shows all the time about how he was like there for the 61st home run.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, number 23, 12 Angry Men.
Otherwise known as 10 Little Indians.
Yeah.
We have discussed 12 Angry Men before.
We have discussed both versions of it. There's the 1957 film with Henry Fonda, which is an excellent film. And then there is a remake of it that came out in, if I can find it, 1997 with Jack Lemmon and George C. Scott. Also a pretty decent film. If you like courtroom dramas and you want to see it from the jury's perspective, check out 12 Angry Men. Number 24, Houston, we have a problem. Apollo 13.
I saw a meme the other day
Mm-hmm.
that a person was saying that the library rents out movies or takes out movies in groups by a certain title, and it's like they have four of the movies where Tom Hanks says, "Do not go on vacation with Tom Hanks or travel with Tom Hanks." It was like
Castaway, Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm.
The one where he's the pilot that crashed the plane in the Hudson.
Oh, Sully.
Sully.
Big.
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now.
That was the fourth movie that was on there. Yeah,
it's the Tom Hanks disaster pack.
Joe versus the volcano.
Do not travel.
The Burbs.
Do not travel with Tom Hanks.
Don't even have a staycation with Tom Hanks. The Burbs. Apollo 13. We talked about a little bit on our Ron Howard episode because it is a Ron Howard film.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen this in a while, man. I should give this one a rewatch.
Yeah. Put it on your like that movie on your 7 steps to Kevin Bacon list.
Yeah. We should do another 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon episode at some point.
Yeah,
that was
put
a lot
that on your COVID-19 movie marathon.
Yeah. And the last film, number 25. So let it be written. So let it be done. The 10 Commandments.
Cecil B. DeMille.
It's just a classic.
That's a classic. It's an Easter classic. We should be coming on soon.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do a list about movies with numbers in it and not put that one at least on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because otherwise you'll have the plagues coming down upon you.
I don't know if I've told you guys this story or not. My dad was a kid when this came out in the theater. He was like
53, I think this came out.
So he was like 3 or 4
in 56.
Yeah. Oh wow,
that would have made him. That would have made him 4.
Cecil B. DeMille film.
He was 4 years old when this came out. He watched it in the theater.
Oh wow!
4. It didn't move the whole time.
It's a pretty mesmerizing film.
What I find interesting is
4-year-old.
This was
the movie's 3 hours and 40 minutes too,
with an intermission.
This was Cecil B. DeMille's second time doing the 10 Commandments. He did it first in 1923, which
it's
sure
a silent
was a
film.
silent movie. And then Talkies came around, and he's like, "I'm doing it again."
This time, I got Charlton Heston,
and we can speak. We can actually hear them speak. It's like, well, who better to get to play the role of Moses than one of the biggest overactors in the history of Hollywood? They blew it up, you bastard. But yeah, 10 Commandments. You can't complete a list like this without that one on there, and it should be coming on TV anytime now since we're entering the Easter season.
Price was in that movie.
Vincent Price was in it.
He was the master builder or master butcher.
He was the master builder. Yeah, as Yul Brynner, Charlton Heston. Who's the one guy? Oh shit. It's funny to think of him in this movie because all the movies I know him from were gangster films.
Yeah.
Shit. Robinson, Edward G. Robinson.
Yeah.
Edward G. Yeah. See, yeah. Oh, is this the end of Rico? Yeah. playing an Egyptian.
Where's the Messiah now, Moses?
I want him found. I want this Messiah found now. Mike, do you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening?
I got some beer facts for you. George Washington's favorite drink was porter, a style he enjoyed brewing himself. The famous president's brewing records indicate he made porter with a large portion of molasses. In fact, he used nearly twice as much molasses as malt per batch.
Well, he had wooden teeth.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. And stop. Beer is good. Beer is good. good. Beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
I went through the trouble of making that. I had to use it one more time.
Speaking of beer, when is Quaker Rage coming out? Kevin?
Yeah, Quaker Rage.
Ixnay on the Rage Quay, whatever. No, I still have that beer brewing kit in my basement. Megan pulled it out so that I would remember to brew the beer while she was gone and on her work trip. Didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. Nope. Nope. I will have time to do it coming shortly, I'm sure.
Summertime. That were our drinks this evening. Kev, how was that heavy ass beer you drank?
It was good. It was very good. It was strong. It was, heavy, thick when I started to drink it, but it was smooth enough. So I enjoyed it. And honestly, I think it was a good thing that I finished with the Grand Cacao because it has that ever so slightly sweet taste to it. And I'm good. I'm going to need something or someone to wake me up tomorrow.
I had, as I said, a strawberry lemonade from Outback Steakhouse that I spiked with some Old Smoky strawberry lemonade whiskey. So it had a nice little whiskey bend to it. And Michael, how was your 7 and 7?
Well, considering my 7 and 7 was a 50-50 7 and 7, I feel good.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at the glass you drank it out of. It's more like a 21 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're drinking a beer glass. What are you talking about?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for episode 144, the Pi Day episode. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. You can support the show on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. You can find out more about us and the other podcasts at The Den by going to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com. The Deluxe Edition Network, home of independent awesomeness. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between pickled and fermented next time for episode 145. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is going to be fucking bonkers. We have decided we do some recastings as a little recurring segment here. But for this episode, we're going to do a special recasting. Each of us is going to pick a film that the others don't know about, and we're each going to recast that movie with a Muppets character. It's the Muppets Recast next week on Films and Fermentation. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Mike.
You listen to Films and Fermentation Podcast. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.